Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Feels good. Feels good. People, what's going on? What's going on? This your boy Bobby from Mentourme alongside.
It's your boy Mike the Advisor. What's going on, y'all?
As you guys always know, we're always going to talk about things that can benefit you and get you to the next level of life, because the goal is teaching you wealth while living. As you guys know, it's the Painful Truth podcast, where we're teaching you how to financially win. Tonight's topic is a great topic, right? And I even went through this when I was younger, but I realized grown adults, they still doing this. So I thought we share this topic. For some reason, when life gets rough, a lot of people like to get 2 jobs. Some even get 3 jobs. We're going to talk about the problems, why you should not have 2 jobs, why you should be thinking differently, how to think differently. Because a lot of us don't understand that a lot of this 2-job stuff don't make sense.
Yeah, let's be specific, Bobby. Why 2 jobs doesn't work for most people. I think what happens is that people may hear that and be like, "Oh, I got 2 jobs. You know, I'm making $400,000." We ain't talking about you.
Yeah, you have nothing to do with this life.
No, we're talking about people with 2 jobs and you still trying to get by.
Correct.
Those are the demographics, which is why we say most people, because most people, you know, are in that 30, 40,000 range.
Correct. Correct.
Which means they have a certain skill that pays a certain amount. So they go get a second one to add an additional, I don't know, 15,000 a year, 20,000 a year.
Correct.
But they're giving an additional 15, 20 hours of their life every week on top of that 40. So this is why we say for most people it doesn't work, and we're going to get into those reasons why and maybe what people should think about after the fact. But
for sure, it's a programmed habit. I think for a lot of us, that's all we're exposed to. So we start to believe it makes sense.
Correct.
And if a person doesn't really teach you differently, you start to really think having 2 jobs, having 3 jobs, slaving yourself for these companies, thinking getting that overtime hour just going to really just solve all your financial problems. And I've learned a lot of people who have 2, 3 jobs, they're struggling. And if they lose one of those jobs, they're struggling even worse. So how do we solve it? What's one of the ways you think people could, of course, get past this hurdle?
Well, first let's talk about the issues, right? I think the people who believe that listen, I'm going to tell you like this. If you're working at Burger King and then you want to do part-time at Ross, I'm not against you trying to figure out a way to get out. That's not what this is about. This is not a bash for that. My issue is with the mindset, right? That's where the argument lies. It's not more so with the action. It's just the mindset of it, right?
Correct.
Because especially in the world that we live, 10 years ago, okay. As of today, no bueno. And here's why. We're currently sitting in what's called the information age.
Correct.
We're in a situation where it's so unique where we're technically in a recession and we're not in a recession. You get what I'm saying?
It's true.
We're in a different time because people have the avenues of making money have opened up, right? So and the avenues to access money has opened up. So
correct.
If you still thinking in the early 2000s and the 90s ways of making money in the current environment that we're in, then you're already behind, because we know that the most valuable thing that any one of us own, I'm sorry, we don't own it. The most valuable thing that all of us have access to and are given every day is a new set of time.
Correct.
So we never own it because it comes and it goes before us and after us. So we have access to it every day. But for me to say, okay, I'm already giving 45 to 50 hours to my main source or to a source. Let me go give an additional 20 to 25 to another source.
Correct.
But the problem is that I realize that people do not value time. Because if you value time,
you would understand.
You understand that extra 15, 20 can do so much other things, which we're going to talk about. But it's the value of time, because that is not something we can get back. Money is not time. Time is not money. I don't believe they correlate. I believe that, money you can get back, right? With time, we can't. You can't spend no more time with your grandmother, your father, your daughter, your son, your girlfriend, your wife. Those are things that are valuable. This is why people try to buy back their time. So that's just how I feel about it.
But you know what? Growing up,
value of time.
A lot of people might too. You got to realize, growing up, that's all they hear. Life gets rough. You need $300. Go get a second job. life get rough, you need an extra $800, go get a second job. And you make a good valid point, because why, right? If you're working 40 hours, 50 hours, you get a second job, 30 hours. Now you're working 80 hours.
No, you don't
when do you sleep?
Yeah,
when do you take a break?
When do you sleep?
This is why you're stressing. This is why you're mad at everybody. This is why you're frustrated with life, because this second job that you thought was going that you thought was going to solve all your problems is actually making life harder.
Correct.
You don't have enough time to do anything that values you. Correct. That will bring long-term wealth.
Because what happens is, Bobby, to that point, is when somebody doesn't have any more time. Now, what does that do? If you're working 40 hours and you get off and you go work another 10 or another 5 or another 6 every single day, what that does is cause fatigue to the body. When you put fatigue to the body, it puts fatigue to the mind.
Correct.
And that domino effect now puts fatigue towards your discipline. It puts fatigue, if you had any. Then it puts fatigue towards your eating habits. And you're eating all this other stuff because now you're working 2 jobs. You got to get going in between two. You don't have time for that. Then it puts fatigue towards other things and other habits that you may be doing. You may be slacking on, right? Communication and time with friends and family. Because all you care about is getting just enough to pay said bill.
Yeah, correct.
Bills will be here before you and after you die.
You know, I don't know if it's me.
I'm not working for bills. I'm sorry.
It is true. I would think people would stop working check to check, but we still have this world that's still working check to check. Mm-hmm. Check to check. And here's the problem, and he makes a good point. Before you take a job or a career, this is where you should be, a career, it's imperative you take time to look at how much is your bills a month. If your bills is $3,000-$4,000 a month and the job is only to give you $3,000, obviously you're short $1,000. That job doesn't make sense. But for some of you, you're so vulnerable, you're excited for any job somebody gives you.
Correct.
And then you're upset when, oh my God, they want to give a raise. You haven't gotten a raise in 3-4 years. There's no elevation to increase your position. You've been at the bottom for 10 years. At the end of the day, people, you got to understand, before you even get a job, ask yourself, is it paying me enough to have the lifestyle that I need? Because people, one of the biggest problems I see with a lot of people, y'all just hungry for any job. As long as the job gives me $40,000 a year, knowing my bills is $65,000 a year, I'm gonna be short $25,000. Then I'm gonna go complain. Oh, the company ain't a good company. I'm hoping that the next president can fix everything.
So now, Bobby, here's a devil's advocate, right?
Yeah, correct.
Because in the valuing time situation, what happens when your cost of living has increased without your control, but your income hasn't increased? Right.
So you're correct. Now,
which is what most people are going through.
Correct. Right now.
Which is why I believe if you're gonna get a job, first I'm gonna eventually talk about this.
Correct.
On a live one day on how to actually get a job that's worth something. And what I mean by that is not a job that's part of this group of people that's just laying people off.
Oh my God! You heard what Workday doing?
I mean, Workday. You got all these tech companies.
900 workers. God damn.
And Workday is necessary. They laying people off. So
they firing any and everybody. If you got the word job, you fired.
So
like it's crazy.
The people who get let go are the people who are less valuable to the company.
Correct.
Right? Correct. They're the dead weight. So you got to figure out what company you're getting a part of, what part of the company you're impacting, right? Are you impacting a part of the company that doesn't really make money? Which is why I believe most people need to work on communication skills. Being in data entry is not important, okay? Being in frontline service, correct, customer service, saying, hey, I'm just gonna, it's not that important because they can minimize you, they can outsource you. But being in something that generates revenue for a corporation is more important than anything, especially if it gives you the opportunity to increase your annual salary through bonuses or commissions or
correct,
et cetera. So it's the only way you can outpace inflation and, in a sense, get some type of control with what your income's going to look like towards the end of the year, right? With that one job. But you also need something that can support you for 1 week, 2 weeks vacation. So when you take that vacation, it's really just paid time away. So now you can use that paid time away to figure out, let me start building something on the side on this paid time away. Let me start making contacts. Let me start going online. You got to get busy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You got to get busy. If you don't get busy, life will get busy on you. That's just
that's Mike makes a valid point, because a lot of you have this mindset. Once you get a job, no matter how bad it pays, you theoretically believe all your problems are solved. You put your feet up, you're comfortable, you're very complacent, you've been there for years, there has been no growth. You can't even take a vacation. But then you don't realize there's something called inflation. Inflation is where the dollar is too strong. It's taking you more dollars to buy the same thing, meaning your purchasing power went down. A lot of you need to understand how powerful inflation is. That's what we're going through right now. Things are so expensive. There's supply issues. It's taking us a lot more dollars to buy the same thing we used to buy. That's an increase in inflation.
Here's a breakdown simply. $20 doesn't do what it does now in your tank that it did 6 months ago.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
That lets you know that's a simple example of inflation. $20 at the grocery store don't get you what it used to.
Correct.
$20 anywhere. Why do you think the meme going around now on social media, people are, oh, $10 bill, the new $1 bill? Because why? It's considered inflation.
For sure.
That's what they're representing. That's what it represents. So if $10 feels like $1, that means what? Your money's not going anywhere.
Why do you think people take these low-income jobs?
It's very simple. People take the low-income job because they believe that that's what they're worth.
Correct.
Right? So, and don't get me wrong, we all have to start somewhere, right? So we're not saying you're only worth $40,000.
I used to work at Target. I used to have them low-paying jobs.
Right. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
$40.
Don't get me wrong, but there's levels to you as a person.
Correct.
And what I mean by that is there's different levels of you. You got to be able to, either uncover, dig deep, reincarnate, or create that level of that person, because I believe everybody has a form of greatness within them, but they have to kind of uncover it, stop being shy, stop being fearful, stop living in fear, stop trying to be so conservative and risk averse. And I want to get to the next reason why I think it doesn't work for most people, because you're missing out on something called opportunity cost. The reason why I'm not a fan of getting 2 bum-ass jobs is because if you get one...
It is true. It's very true.
If you get one, why waste time to get 2 when you could just spend more time, fix yourself up, fix your lingo up, fix your vocabulary.
Fix your LinkedIn up.
Fix your LinkedIn. Like, figure out how to get something that's above what you normally get that matches the lifestyle that you know you want to live. You can get a job at home paying you $50,000, $60,000 if you know how to search enough, if you know how to put yourself in position enough, do your due diligence enough,
Correct.
Network enough. Say, hey, I want to do this. It doesn't require a lot of experience, but I know how to do da-da-da-da-da, and I speak like this, and I da-da-da-da. Okay, great. Boom, let's get you in. Nobody's going to give you anything, right? But if you want those jobs that anybody can get, that's fine. You're going to get what everybody else got. But my point is opportunity cost. You get 40 hours, great. Don't give the additional hours of the week of your life to somebody else when you could just build something or do a side hustle, where that side hustle, if it blows, if it potentially, that's the opportunity for you to go ahead and leave the main job because you've built something on the side. But if you go and give 2 jobs your time, you don't leave any opportunity to do anything with your life. You just said, I want to be a slave.
And really understand what Mike's saying. For a lot of you, you get these jobs, you work at 50 hours a week. If you really think about it, working 50 hours a week, you go to the second job, now you're working 80 hours a week, okay? If you really think about it, at 80 hours a week, when do you have time to create true wealth? When do you have time to really understand how to get paid what you really want to get paid? For a lot of you that's getting paid, I don't know, $15, $20, $25 an hour, you actually say, well, how do I get to 100 an hour? How do I get to 200 an hour? How do I get to 1,000 an hour? Well, you're not going to get there doing 80 hours a week at a company. You're just fulfilling that next person's dreams.
Correct.
Whoever owns that company. What about your dreams? And that's why I always tell a lot of you, instead of doing that, there's 2 options. One option is get a higher paying job. You don't go get 2. Find a job that's higher paying. And you do that by what he just said. One is, a lot of you need to understand the new social media is not Instagram and TikTok for you grown folks. The new social media is LinkedIn.
Correct.
You need to be on Indeed. You need to be on LinkedIn. You need to be building relationships on LinkedIn.
And what you need to do
that's how you get $100,000, $200,000 job.
You don't need to be the
or
one,
career, preferably.
You don't need to be the one to answer that, Bobby. You don't have to be the one on LinkedIn with all the followers, with all the connections, with this making, shaking, baking moves. You might have somebody in your own circle whose LinkedIn is popping. You might have a previous boss that you cool with outside of work whose LinkedIn is popping.
Correct.
Because that's why it's called LinkedIn, because they are the links to where you need to go. If you were to believe the people that I'm connected with, because the way LinkedIn works is it's based on connections, degrees of separation, right?
Correct.
You're either I know you directly, or I know you through somebody else, or I know somebody who knows you, right?
Yeah, which is correct.
The direct connections are the highest form. The level of people that I have as direct connections, I probably would never ever get to meet or probably hang out with on a regular social media basis or regular life basis if it wasn't for LinkedIn.
Correct.
We're talking about heads of this, people who make millions at a corporation as employees, who are the decision makers, right? Who are direct connect. Oh, hey, Mike, yeah, connect with me anytime. Mind you, I'm not anybody serious, but because of presentation, because of not being so thirsty, just hey, I like this. Boom, I'm not a spammer, right? There's an etiquette that goes with it. They link with you. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's setting up really nice. Okay, he says what he does. Okay, great. All right, cool. He seems cool. All right, boom. He's connected, and he knows managing director over here at da-da-da. Oh, he must be great.
And you see how you're talking about LinkedIn? There's still grown people that don't even know what is LinkedIn.
Correct.
And which is pretty embarrassing. Social media is where companies go to understand who you really are, not the person I'm about to meet in that interview.
Yeah.
So for a lot of you that's shaking your ass on social media, following the wrong trends on social media and posting it, these corporations they're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching. Because if I'm a hiring manager at HR and I want to hire a person for a $90,000 to $200,000 a year salary, I'm going on your social media to understand what is it that you do. And if I find out on your weekends you at strip clubs all night long, or on your weekends you're being somebody that you're not presented to be, I'm not giving you this $200,000 a year job. People, I have clients that make $400,000 a year. I have clients who make $250,000 a year. I have clients who make $2 million a year working for companies, and I also have clients who make $15,000, $20,000. Why is there such a big gap? Is what we're talking about tonight. People, it's important to clean up your presentation. Go get professional photos done. Get your LinkedIn right. Clean up your IG. Clean up your Facebook. Get all that slang off your page. Get all that colored hair, yellow burgundy. People, what are you doing? No company gonna give you $100,000 a year with burgundy and yellow hair or green hair. That's not gonna work. That tells the company a lot about you.
Here's what I believe: you have to earn the right to do what you.
People don't understand, man.
Let me repeat that again. You got to earn the right to do what you want to do.
Correct. If you're an entrepreneur, you earned it. Yeah.
See, you're not Cardi B because you don't got Cardi B bank account.
Correct.
She earned the right to do what she want to do. So the girls, Nicki Minaj, they earn the right. Whoever you follow that, city, whatever you like to follow, Obama, whoever that you look up to, Sierra, they've earned the right to do what they want to do.
Correct.
They are the money. So wherever they go, money flows, attention flows.
Correct.
So unless that's you haven't earned that right to, I want to wear this hair that I want to wear, and they should just accept it. You're right, they should, but at the end of the day, they're still a private corporation. They can do whatever they want to do. They can have rules and regulations on how to dress.
Correct.
On how to have certain things, hide tattoos. End of the day, whatever you work for, whatever corporation you work for, remember, no matter how long it's been in business, it was a human being like me and you who started it originally. Just because it's a public corporation doesn't mean nothing. A human being was behind the formation of it. So, unless your name is on that wall, or unless you got enough in the account where you don't need to get money from nobody, from no job, at that point you can do what you want to do. But until then, you need to be marketable. You need to be attractive to employers, because why? One job that gives you $100,000 can change your current position.
I want you guys to understand this too, right?
One job.
I don't want y'all to think that it's only women with the colored hair and the different brothers with the dreads.
There's only
brothers
so high with
the gold teeth. There's reality and there's the social media world. Okay?
Yeah.
Reality corporate companies, they don't have no high paid worker has dreads. No matter how clean the dreads are.
Yeah.
This is fact.
Yeah.
I watch CNN, CNBC. We're talking the top 5% is on these TV shows. The top 5% is on these stations. We're talking people who own multi-billion-dollar companies, multi-million-dollar companies where their workers make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year. Not one person ever went on that show to have dreads.
Correct.
Some of them can't even have facial features, facial hair on their face.
Correct. Depending on how high they go.
For sure. Depending on how high you go. You want to make $2 million a year working for a company? Oh, trust me, you're not having a beard.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're not having a beer. Trust me, you will be clean skinned to face.
Because it's not up to you now, it's up to the shareholder.
Exactly.
There's a corporate image you have to keep. And we're not telling people that that's what you're searching for, that's where you're trying to go. What we're telling you, right, to keep on track is that you need to value time.
100%, people.
You have to understand the opportunity cost you're missing out on.
For sure.
People believe in your damn self.
That's the problem. A lot of them, they slack.
Figure something else on the side. Stop being
10
lazy.
years you're with the company, Mike. Some people 10 years getting 40,000.
Never got a raise.
10 years
Never
getting 50,000. Never got a promotion.
10 years. You
never got a raise.
That promotion you got wasn't even nothing serious. You've been there 10 years. You could have been got that promotion.
And if somebody broke tells you that don't know money, hey, you know what you should do? You struggling? I got you, man. Come work at my job and go add another 30 hours. People, this is why there's so much stress in this world today. This is why there's so much mental stress.
Yeah, we haven't been taught how to go get money. We've been taught how to spend it.
That's all we know how to do is spend it. We mastered spending.
We've mastered spending.
Master spending money.
Because you see, we caused our own problem because you see all this money they gave us and we just spent it like it was nothing. Now we got inflation. We're paying for it. So this is why we say nothing's really ever free. You thought that money was forgiven. It ain't forgiven because you paying it all back in gas bills. You paying it all back at the grocery store. You paying it all back. So ain't nothing ever really free. But my thing is this. We've never been taught how to go get it. We've always been taught how to spend it.
Correct.
How to acquire new debt with it. And how to pay bills with it. But we never say, damn, where do I go to go get more of this? Right? That's been always been a still secret. And still to this day, it's a secret. That's why you got so many people that you follow on IG that can fool you and say, hey, listen, click the link in my bio. Right? Everybody got a link in their bio they want you to click because nobody knows how to go get the money.
Correct. See, and a lot of you don't understand. Like, I appreciate sharing what's going on with you. Martha the Ball, Juju was popping. Got a couple people on here. Make sure you guys click share. Put your comments below about this topic. Tell us how you feel. Because we talked about learning how to value your time. A lot of you, obviously, you don't realize the value of your time. Y'all with companies getting 40,000 a year for 10 years. You're upset. Hoping the president can solve your problem. Hoping the raise can solve your problem. Number two, we spoke about opportunity costs. There's opportunities that you could, of course, attach yourself to if you understood that it can only exist if you have time for it.
Correct.
But working 90 hours a week, you don't have time for no opportunities, even if the opportunity is for you to grow and be an entrepreneur. Even if it's for you to go get a skill while you have a job, a high-paid skill. Let me clarify that 1 second. So many people I know have this thing where, I'm so-called a hustler. I got 9 different hustles, and I'm still broke. 9 different ways you make money, you still broke. Because why? None of them are high-paying hustles. Because if it was high-paying, you would only need 1.
Right.
Maybe 2.
Or you haven't dialed in and become a specialist on
For sure.
Because think about this, guys. You go give somebody else an extra 15, 20 hours a week on top of the 40. We're not telling you to have no job. We're telling you to get one good one or one decent one. And then on the side, get you a skill. Learn your sales skills. Increase your sales skills. Get a sales course that you can do on the weekends. And as soon as you get off, you got enough time to breathe. You ain't got to go right back to another job.
Correct.
And on your weekends, you can spend your time doing that. If you got to spend 6 months doing that, oh, well, so what? But it's much better doing that in the comfort of my home than saying, oh, I got to go work 2 jobs. Go get a skill, learn how to do something in technology, right? People getting that all day going to get $200,000 bags, $150,000 bags. They don't even got to do nothing too technical.
Correct.
Right? Go become a project manager. Like learn a skill or even a trade. Like learn how to design flyers, or not flyers, but learn how to design something.
Very
go on
true.
Fiverr, become a freelancer. Learn how to create drops for some people. But when you start, you can't finish with it. You can't start it, learn it a little bit, and then just throw it to the wayside.
And
you gotta be a specialist to a degree.
That's a good point you make.
And at least you'll make an extra 5 bands on the side. Next thing you know,
and
you blow up. You have an opportunity to say, you know what? I don't need this job because you took.
Correct.
Because you understood opportunity cost.
See, people don't understand.
2 jobs, you ain't gonna be able to do that.
Like I hear a person say, "Oh well, I got a skill. Oh, I got this license," but they go pick a license that, even if they close 7 transactions for the week, they still ain't make not even $500.
Yeah.
That's time. The reason I do commercial real estate is not because at the end of the day I hate selling houses. It's because when I look at it, if I sell one $5 million building, a 6% commission, double-ended, that's $300,000 I made on that one deal. While this person who's selling houses, to make 100,000, had to sell 12 houses, drive people around, show them homes all day. I need to sell one building for the year. I made $300,000-$400,000. I would rather do that. It's called understanding how to value your time value of money. A lot of you need to understand that. You go get these skills that's giving you $10, $20, then you go get 10 other occupations that's barely making you any money. When are you going to get something that's high paid? High paid skills, commercial real estate, that's high paid. Real estate license is a high paid license, but a lot of us like to fall short and go do what? Go sell condos for $100,000.
Right, but
why you could be selling $500,000 home? Why you could be selling $2 million home? They just sitting at $100,000, $200,000 element right there and be transparent for 10 years.
But let me tell you though, Bobby. To that point, I see a lot of people love to go get real estate licenses and be real estate agents.
Man!
But here's the
so
problem.
many of them not making money, Mike.
The average
98% of realtors don't make money.
Yeah, they only make
98%.
The average agent makes about 40, 50 grand a year. And here's why.
If that.
Because why? It's not really about the license. It's not really about any license.
Correct.
Let me tell you guys that. If you work 40 hours at your job and you pay $500, $1,000, $1,500, whatever you paid, plus hours, sweat equity into a course that teaches you how to sell.
That's the problem with a lot of people. They don't know how to sell.
Once you know how to communicate, not, hey, how are you doing? My name is Hey, John, how's it going? This is Michael. I know we spoke last week. Listen, is this a good time?
People listen up.
Listen, that skill by itself, there's so many different ways of selling, but you need to be like a Swiss Army knife with it. You need to know all different types of ways to communicate with sales. There's not really just one simple switch way. You need to buy everybody course.
School don't teach it, Mike.
So once you know how to sell, then you can go become a real estate agent and go get a bag.
And then that's
those are the ones who's making it bad because they make the most calls.
Correct.
They're not living by fear. They're not like, oh, I don't want to call him because he said no. They're hitting everybody on the FSBO list.
100% correct.
They're hitting everybody in the city and calling because why? They know they're armed with something that you ain't got. How to close a deal.
And people, this is the biggest problem. School
you just look cute.
School don't teach you what he's talking about. This is why my sales course coming out in 2 months. When I put this out, a lot of you need to understand how powerful this is about to be. A lot of people haven't done, especially in the urban community. You got to really think about this. I'm giving you guys a sales course book, okay, which is going to be video teaching you how to sell, how to speak, how to close high ticket sales. Because no matter what you selling, you got to know how to sell it. And that's what a lot of you don't understand. Go get real estate licenses, never sold real estate in their life. Scared to make calls. Don't even like people hanging up on them. Oh my God, don't like to call people back. Hate follow-ups. How you gonna close a deal?
Well, listen, people, everything in every job is a sale, right?
TV sells all day.
Netflix has a sales department.
Every company.
Your car company, who you pay your car note to, has a sales department.
Come on.
I mean, the bank where you work has where you put your money. They have a sales department. Anything you want to think of iPhone has a sales department. Remember, you've been to the iPhone store, you know the iPhone specialist, that's a salesperson. So my point is this: nothing moves without that. I'm not telling you to go be a salesman. What I'm telling you, that's one skill. So just because you got licenses doesn't mean you know how to sell. But there's a difference. Same with any other hustle. You start a business, you sell cosmetics, you're doing all social media marketing is another form of sales.
You know, Mike, when I think about it, we got to go a step back with these people because some people don't even know gross versus net when it comes to getting a job, getting a high pay. People, I want to talk about this for a minute.
So the first job gives you 40.
A job gives you 40,000.
And you work.
People are gonna go brag to their friends. Oh, I'm making 40,000. No. That's gross 40. By the time you take out federal, Social Security, Medicare, you probably at 27, 26. By the time you take out that expensive car payment that you got to pay every month for the next 5 years, you probably have 14,000. People learning the difference between gross and net is so essential. Gross is, of course, before taxes. Net is after taxes. And you got to understand, if you know you're trying to net 70,000, you might want to gross 90. That's just reality.
So, Bobby, $25 an hour, right? At 40 hours a week.
Tell me how much is that?
That's $1,000 a week. At 52 weeks in a year, it's 52,000, right?
50,000.
So $25 an hour is $52,000. 52,000 a year, right? Most people don't make 52,000 in sad.
Which is pretty sad.
It's sad. But let's say $25. Somebody gives you a job right now for $25 an hour. You're gonna take it, right? But what you haven't factored in is something, especially like in my state of Florida, we have no state tax.
Correct.
If you make 25 and you live in New York, you actually make $10 an hour.
Correct.
Because
cost of living is so high in New York, California.
Because everybody's in your pocket. What do I mean? You got the borough in your pocket. You live in Manhattan,
Correct.
Manhattan getting their tax. The state of New York getting their tax.
Correct.
Right? And then the government getting their tax. You got 3, 4, 5 people in your pocket before you get paid. Well, in Florida, FICA FUTA is in your pocket, right?
Correct.
Well, federal is in your pocket. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? FICA FUTA cover all the Medicare, Social Security, all that. And then you got federal, if you decide to pay the federal tax, right? Or you push it off to the end of the year. But my point is, in my state, that $25 actually ends up really rounding out to about 19, 18 after everything's paid, depending on the person's personal tax liability. Are they single or are they married?
Oh,
right?
Your filing status.
Your filing status. We haven't even gone to that. Or your dependency. Are you filing 1, 2, 3, 4?
They don't think about that.
So before I get too advanced on that point, my point is when you fill that W-4 out, that's going to determine what that check going to look like. That's one. 2, when you take that money home, that $25 is not $25. You're taking home net, what you see in your bank account, divide that by 40, times that by 52 weeks. That's exactly what you get in an hour.
And that's the problem.
Then you go get another job. We ain't pay bills yet, Bobby.
Oh,
we ain't get a haircut yet. We ain't feed ourselves yet.
Food.
We ain't go out with the homies yet.
Housing, entertainment.
As of right now, it's more. As of right now, it costs more to move out of your apartment than it is to stay in your apartment. Let me repeat that again. It costs more to move out your apartment, not a home, your apartment, than it is to stay. So renters are squeezed and locked. They're forced to stay in now. Or you didn't want to pay, now you forced to stay. Because if you go out anywhere else, you got to pay $6, $7, $8 for that same one bedroom.
And that's the crazy part. I love, you see, this is something we'll talk about this next week, but a lot of y'all not seeing the game with these apartments right now.
Gross
where if you don't understand how much you really make and don't do a budget statement every month, for some of you that don't manage your money right, some of you are paying for an apartment more than it costs to own a home. And you don't see that because these companies are throwing the word affordable all in your face. Affordable luxury apartments. All you've seen is the word luxury. There ain't nothing affordable when it's a 1-bedroom for $2,400.
There ain't nothing affordable.
There's nothing affordable for $2,900 for 2.2. That's not affordable.
There ain't nothing affordable about that.
And a lot of you don't understand, based on how much you make a year, 50, 60, 70,000 gross, you can't afford it. Even if you didn't have a car payment, you can't afford it.
Correct. Even if you just only paid that one bill, and you couldn't afford it, because why? People $2,000 a month, 24,000 a year.
Correct.
Automatically just is going. That's a
automatic.
That's a fixed cost going to just for you to.
If you
for you to
50,
sleep
that's
somewhere.
half your income.
Exactly. Just for you to sleep somewhere. But remember, you ain't taking 50 home. You taking about mid to low 30s home. So really, you got $5,000 left at the end of the year.
And people ain't doing their math. So you gave a company.
So you got $5 left.
All your time for 5 Gs. All your time for 5 Gs.
And then you say, you know what? I'm gonna leave another company another 15, 20 hours.
And my problem should be solved. That you stress. People, we're talking about, for some of you that's tuning in tonight right now, we're talking about the problem with having 2 jobs. Why it doesn't work, and why do people take that direction, take that option? A lot of you don't understand, 1, you don't value your time. 2, you're missing out on the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of you being able to grow yourself and build something for yourself.
Yeah.
3, a lot of us do this because gross versus net. We don't understand the difference. Company says, I'm giving you $60,000. That's gross.
Yeah, you ain't taking.
By the time they take out their incentive packages, federal, Social Security, Medicare, people, you really, from 60, you at really maybe 26,000. Yeah. Then that expensive ass car payment you sign over 5 years, you really at 10 Gs. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, you got this apartment that's affordable. That's damn near 2.2 for $2,800. You broke.
And then let's not talk about Murphy's Law.
Oh,
let's
God,
not talk about when something hit the fan. Next thing you know, water pump go out, or you know what I'm saying? Your transmission slipping.
Oh, God.
Or the unexpected happens.
No,
all it takes is one rock to throw in that pond, and it's a wave effect. Because why?
Correct.
All you guys got one little income on that little slim ass leg, and then something happened and boom, and knock it over.
And this is
you done for 6 months.
And there's so many Americans, Mike, one stream of income. What happens, and for somebody that's watching this live,
and we're not saying you need to have multiple streams, you need to be a millionaire. What we're saying is you have that one, but start figuring out a skill on the side. Start figuring out a little hustle on the side.
Something
make an
got
extra
to
$1,000
come,
on the side. Make an extra $12,000 a year.
For sure.
Make an extra $12,000 a year on the side aside from your job. That'll be great.
But doing it in a way where it makes sense, where it balances out your time. Some of you don't understand this working 2-3 job thing that you got going on. You're still struggling. You've been doing it 2-3 years, 5 years. Nothing has changed. Some of you now are so programmed to it, you can't even leave any of the jobs now.
Yeah, because you done made.
Did it really solve your problems?
Girls.
Your debt has increased. Your expenses have increased.
Your health has declined.
Your health has declined. You barely got time to eat anything decent. You can't cook no more.
Yeah, which is the most important.
You're stressed about life, mental stress. You don't have time to do nothing. By the time you get off 5:30, boom, take an hour shower, boom, drop your daughter off, boom, 8 o'clock, you got to go back to work again. Who told you?
Don't let you have some kids.
Right.
2-3 with kids?
Right.
Don't let you have some kids.
Some of these
Don't
people
let you
go
have some
get
kids.
2-3 jobs.
I'd rather you
With
work
kids
overtime on
out.
that one. I'd rather you work overtime on
Who
that
told
one.
you that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
See,
Listen, and don't be wrong. We all grew, most of us
all
grew
of us
up.
had to start somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? With single mothers who work 2-3 jobs. I get all that.
My mother did too.
But my mom did as well. But we're not in them times anymore.
Things change.
We're supposed to be doing better, right?
You could
we
be
know
trading
better.
stocks. You could be doing crypto. You could be doing real estate.
We know better. We
you
got the
get
access to
licensed in real
social
estate.
media.
You can do so many things now.
We got iPhone 12s and 13s and all this, but
we're in a whole different world, man.
But for some reason, we still got that one job.
And
we
know what?
We don't do nothing else but that one job.
A lot of people, it's exactly what you say, due diligence.
Okay.
We don't like to research.
No.
We don't like to, and I love that I watch on IG, what's that page? Salary Transparent. You watch American Income.
I watch both of them, yeah. American Income. I found it.
And I like these two pages, Salary Transparent. Shouts out to the girl that's always hosting
and
American Income. Mm-hmm. These two platforms are teaching you, based on cities and locations, what people make a year.
And what type of jobs they do.
What type of jobs, and do they even like it? Because for some of you, the problem started when you went to school and got a degree that ain't going to make you no money.
Yeah, psychology.
You forgot to just go on Google by mistake. But you damn sure got on Instagram to go click, to scroll all night long. But you didn't take time to go on Google and figure out, hold on, I'm about to go get this degree in, I don't know, psychology. The question is, how much money am I going to make?
What you about to do?
Where do I make the most money, if that's the case?
Yeah, what you about to do?
Because nowadays, when you think about psychology, I ain't gonna lie. Look at the level of mental health. That that degree should be valuable now.
Keyword should.
It could be valuable.
But ain't nobody paying for that. Because you know why? Most people who get it, they don't go all the way. If you're going to start with that, when people don't do the due diligence, like I said, if you're going to get a psychology degree, are you going to be a psychologist?
Yeah.
Which means that you're going to go beyond the 4 years. You're going to go beyond the master's. You're going to the PhD doctorate level, which causes time, discipline, and commitment to that one skill to say, you know what, now I want to be a psychologist, or now I get paid psychology money, which there's still, you have to figure out how much does the average psychologist make. Everybody ain't going to school to rush to be a psychologist. So because of that, if you after the bag, you need to be going into STEM, anything STEM related.
Oh, man.
Because that is what makes money in this world. That's what makes the world. Science, technology, engineering, and math, and anything that falls below those. Everything else is just a bunch of fluff. But people fall and for all the other stuff, and they can do all that. That's great.
People listen to what he just said.
But this is the reason
Science,
why we're behind.
Technology, okay,
engineering and math.
Engineering and math. Those occupations there make people great incomes. Because a lot of you right now, you still don't believe that you could work for a company and make $200,000 a year.
You don't think you can make $1 million working for a company?
There's companies that pay $1 million, $2 million a year.
$6 million, $20 million.
I'm telling you, I have clients who make $400,000, $600,000 a year, and you got clients who make $30,000. Why is there such a big gap? Why are you settling? But it's mental. It's more mental.
Aside from gross and net, Bobby, I want to talk about, what was that next one that you put? Was
it's
that
more
mindset?
mental.
Mental.
It's more mental because.
So expound a little bit on that mental side.
Well, you got to realize this, right?
I want people to hear this. And then we'll get into some comments, maybe.
Yeah, because you gotta realize this, right? It's programmed. Okay, a person told you, look, okay, you're doing rough right now, times ain't good. Girl, you know what you need to do? Go get a second job. But when you look at that person who gave you that advice, they broke. They probably got 2 jobs, and that shit ain't even working out for them.
True.
And instead of you saying, hold on, let me go ask the person that got something going on for them, what would you do in my situation?
Correct. Somebody who's credible.
Exactly. A credible person to say, hold on, this person here, I like how their lifestyle looks. I want to actually ask you, what would you do if you was in my situation? And apply what makes sense. Instead, no, it's mental. We go around, okay, cool. My homegirl working 2 jobs, my homeboy working 2 jobs, and he's struggling. Let me go get 2 jobs. Then we ask ourselves, damn, our bill still ain't paid. Their bill still wasn't paid.
So, Bobby, let me ask you this. Because here's my belief, right? Somebody comes and asks me, right, which I get all the time in my DMs and all this other stuff. Oh, what should I do with this? What should I do with that, right? All I do all day is give advice. That's what I do for a living. But here's the thing. When I give somebody advice, I give it to them in a way that they can make it their own. Not, this is what Mike said to do. What I mean by that is, if you have a job that you're getting paid $15 an hour, $10, whatever you can pay, wherever you start, I don't care. I don't judge for that. Because at the end of the day, that's not your potential. That's not who you could be. Right? That's just who you are today. So nobody cares what you're making right now. I don't care for that. I don't judge you off of that. What I'm judging you off of, or what I'm looking at you, or how I'm characterizing you, is what you're doing when nobody's looking, even when I don't know. What does that mean? Even though you have a bad paying job and you work in that one job, before you go get the second one, technically you already have a second job. Your second job, when you're not working, is finding a higher paying one. That is your second job. You put 10 to 15 hours a week in searching, researching, YouTube videos, doing some more research, LinkedIn, setting this up, making calls, texting people, messaging people. Hey, who can you introduce me to this? Can you introduce me to that? Boom, boom. Looking on Glassdoor. Hey, what's the average salary for this? Correct. Doing that work, I believe the universe or God or whoever you believe in is going to open the door, because they're not going to look at what you say. They're not going to look at what you do. They're going to look at your shovel. That's what they're looking at. Correct. That's what the world is looking at. How often are you using that shovel? You want to build a foundation? Let's see what your shovel's doing. What you see, because your mouth is doing one thing, and you're, oh, I believe this is doing another. Let's see what that shovel's doing. How deep are you making that foundation? I love how you said that, because people don't understand the importance of putting in the work. You got to, man. People, when you get off work, your normal 9-to-5 job, if that's the type of career path you took, you go to the Broad City. You got another job to go after, which is, how do I find a higher paying job? How do I find a skill that makes sense that aligns with my life, so I don't have to work these 80 hours anymore? I don't want to work 2 jobs. When do you sleep? When do you breathe? When do you take a vacation? You make $30,000. Google $50,000 paying job. That's it. You give yourself a $20,000 increase. You look at all the jobs you can find at $50,000. Then you go to LinkedIn, $50,000 paying jobs. Look at everything. Look at the requirements. Oh, I can do that. I got all that. Oh, they don't need a degree. Oh, I can apply to that and get your stuff together to look like you're ready for it. But that's the work. That's a job right there. Yeah, there's people, I've learned, Mike, it goes back to social factors. Who you hang with. That's a big thing. Who you're around. Listen, to that point, Bobby. Still hanging around with high school friends. Yeah, it's true. The detox is some people you need to let go. Or some people you need to distance yourself. Detox. You've been hanging with the same people from high school who've been keeping you broke when you really think about it, because you got everybody around you, nobody's successful. So who you getting advice from to elevate is a person who hasn't gone anywhere in life financially. Same bucket as you. They still live in this mediocre, week-to-week, paycheck-to-paycheck type of lifestyle. And they're giving you advice, telling you that you should get a second job. Instead of you doing that, people change your circle of friends. I'm going to be honest. I know a lot of people, but I only hang with so many friends. That's a fact. I know a lot of people. But I'm funny about who I hang with. I barely like to go to lunch with people because, again, I don't like to waste my energy like that. I'm funny about that. But for some of you, you will waste time and years and decades with people who aren't about nothing. And that person is who's giving you advice. And that's why you're staying in this small box and you're not growing, making 30 to maybe 70, 60,000 a year. People at the end of it, if you want to grow,
You got to change your circle of friends. Change sometimes the culture of the people you hang with.
Distance yourself from some people.
Distance yourself from the people that's negative, that don't want to do anything, that's not growing. Because if you imagine you need a job, you got friends, everybody make $30,000. What job you gonna get? A $30,000 job? Really think about that.
They all doing basic shit.
Everybody doing basic shit. What kind of job you really get?
You got one friend who's
girl, you doing bad. I got you, girl. I'm putting you in the call center. My boy, I got you, boy.
You got
we barbecuing back there, boy. We got you.
You don't got one friend who's an attorney. You don't got one friend who
not one friend that can say, look, I got this $100,000 a year. They got to open their position for $85,000. Damn. So I think some people be shocked. Like, I could really make 85. You should make 85. That's especially with inflation. Life is so expensive. 85 ain't even 85.
That shit 55.
Yeah, I don't understand. Some people, they're comfortable with 30,000, but they complain so much. People, 2 jobs will never solve your problem. And I had a brother one time, but I did a first video to this topic a couple years ago, and I had a guy comment, well, I don't know about what you're saying, but 2 jobs for me right now got me making $700 or $800 a week. and he really thought he proved a point. Like, $800 a week that's a joke. And he really think like, damn, I did $800 a week, that's $3,200, 3,006, like 12 months a year. That's $36,000, $37,000.
80 hours a week.
And that's 80 hours a week to make $800 a week. This is crazy, and these people speak English. They was born in this country. How are you born in this country? You speak English, you have a Social Security number, and you're letting the world give you $30,000 a year. What are you doing?
I know people
who
ain't got no social making bands.
I got people I got people who ain't even English ain't even right. Yeah, I make about 130.
Yeah.
Damn, you make 130?
Well,
I got Jessica Hernandez right here. English/Hispanic or fully American, born and raised in the country.
Everything.
Birth certificate, she got everything. Social Security card, blue and all, fresh out the box. And she making $35,000, $40,000 a year. She's excited.
She ain't got that immigrant hustle, man. What's the comments looking like?
That's the problem. People are gonna take a couple comments. People, how you feel about the topic? Tell us how you feel. Do you have 2 jobs? If you need some guidance on your life when it comes to growing, Martha said, good topic, man. Juju says, so true. Sharon Samantha says, the hair thing is mad true. Sharon, let me tell you, this hair thing has been blowing me out the water. You got so many 9-to-5 workers with purple hair, yellow hair. People, let me tell you something. Women that have the colored hair, usually you're an entrepreneur. Then it makes sense. Or you're a stripper. I don't like to lie on my platform. The painful truth is the painful truth. Either you prostituting, you're a dancer, or your job
is cosmetology.
It's cosmetology, or
some type of nail.
You got some type of low income type of job. What company is gonna let you come to work with purple hair, yellow hair, blue hair? Let's be real.
To represent their brand.
A big billion-dollar company let you come to their establishment like that. Let's be real. But now, if you're an entrepreneur, this disqualifies you from the conversation because you work for yourself. You make your own money. You call your own shots.
Yeah, can't nobody tell you nothing.
But now, you're a dancer in a way, you're an entrepreneur too, when you really think about it.
Right.
Now, Dane says, I did 2 jobs. Man, Dane, stop the plan. Well, I respect you. Dane made a lot of money off crypto. Dane, you a rare motherfucking exception. You don't count. Sharon, Dane made millions off motherfucking crypto. He didn't make the money off of these 2 jobs. He's trying to make it seem like the job is what got him where he at. You took the money from the jobs, invested it, took a risk, and of course the risk paid off. But let's be honest, if you had a chance to do the jobs again, I bet you won't do 2 jobs.
Right.
Shouts out to Dane. Sharon said, don't forget selling yourself and building your brand. Oh, that's always important.
Yeah, of course, it is. But I want people to understand, it's not always about, even if you don't sell yourself, even if you don't build a brand, even if you don't go be your own entrepreneur, you can build a skill set.
Correct.
That can pay you.
Correct.
Without having to create a corporation or a business around it. Meaning you can do that still at your current job. You can bring more value to a new job. Or you can go into a whole pivot to a whole other industry.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't understand.
The most important commodity we all have is time. Because none of us
Stop wasting your time.
None of us make it but all of us waste it.
That's true.
So because I don't make it, when I wake up, no matter what, I got another 24. As long as I'm here, I have another 24. If 8 hours of that 24 is already taken, the question becomes, what am I doing with the rest? Am I eating right? Am I sleeping right? Am I fueling my mind correctly? Am I pre-planning for my next 24?
Correct.
Am I pre-planning for my next, 48, 72? To say, okay, well, today I'm going to be doing this, but on Friday I'm going to spend the whole day doing this. I'm going to spend the whole day Saturday doing this and learning about this. Missing out on temporary current fun for long-term growth, you're not missing out on nothing.
Very true. A lot of people don't understand that.
I'll stay home every freaking weekend and learn something for 6 months if I know after them 6 months I got a skill that if something happened, I could just pivot, make it 150, or I could do something on the side additional to what I do.
See, and it's very true. That's why next week one of the topics I'm gonna tap into. I don't know if we're gonna do it on a Thursday or another day. People with felony records that are taking these low income jobs. I think this is gonna be a great live that I do, teaching probably 10 different things you could do with a felony background. And I want you guys to understand, you guys fall in this conversation too. You don't have to work 2 jobs to make a great living. Especially because you got a felony, I got a charge, or I got arrested. There is always better options. But again, it goes back to what we spoke about today, valuing your time, opportunity costs.
Valuing yourself. If you bring enough value to the market,
correct.
I'm not going to say whatever, but if your felony is acceptable, it was probably drug related or hustle related, not like you murder somebody.
Yeah.
But if your felony, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how smart you are, you murder somebody, you know what you're hiring you. But my point is this: if your felony is acceptable, meaning like, okay, he did that, I get it.
Yeah, granted that he was young,
whatever, okay.
I just saying, okay.
But if you bring so much value to the market now, where nigga, you an engineer, you a fucking AI researcher, you making freaking, you know what I'm saying? You deep learning, whatever it is you know how to make, they gonna get you a job. They gonna
sure.
We gonna skip that. This boy too smart. If you get what I'm saying, or you know how to do something where you can pay yourself. You know how to trade the markets. You don't gotta work for nobody. Or you know how to cut grass so well. You know how to make shapes and hearts, and you doing Tyler Perry grass. You're a specialist in something. You gifted.
And that's what
the market gonna pay you whatever they gonna pay you. You know how to motivate people. The market gonna pay you whatever they gonna pay.
And that's I think that even the motivation side is one I might throw up because people don't understand how powerful that is. Imagine you did 2-3 years in prison, and
I follow a guy, a white boy.
A guy that's willing to motivate people to teach them how to properly get their mind in order, their mental state of mind to be financially free.
Because of the world we live in now. 10 years ago, he would not make money. Because of the world we live in now.
Exactly. Now to hear him, 10 years of where the man just did prison time, to now understanding that he could have taken a different route, teaching people how to not take the same route he took. People are willing to listen. Because now he's relatable to that person that's in jail, probably getting out in 2 years. In jail, probably getting out in 3 years.
Yeah, he has a target market.
Exactly. So while you and I can't relate to them because, we ain't never did no time. So now, but this guy, he can, look, I'm going to be honest with you, boy.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be real with you. You'll be on that concrete bed. It's just about to be real. If you ain't ready to eat bologna sandwiches for 10 years, I'm telling you, you might want to. Now that person, hold on now, bologna sandwiches, I'm a vegan. I can't. So now, so guys, we thought we'd share that. This boy from Mentourme.com. Topic tonight was why 2 jobs don't make sense
for most people.
Guys,
listen, if you need help trying to figure out how to level up for 2023, 2024.
It's time. Time to level up.
Please reach out.
Book your sessions. Mentourme.com.
We'll guide you in the right section. We'll guide you in the right path. Get people around you who's going to call you out on your BS.
Correct. You need to hear the truth about yourself.
Who's going to tell you, listen, I hear what you're saying on that, but you need to go ahead and just quit that and do this.
That's what real friends don't do nowadays.
I got friends that's around you who
yes men.
Who yes men and who
girl, you good? Just get the 2 jobs, girl. How much you making? That's not bad. You only working 80 a week.
You need somebody gonna be like, what? You decided to go get another what? Yeah, because why? Time is the most valuable thing. I would never tell somebody to go get 2 unless there's unless there's a real specific need or reason for your
appreciate lifestyle. You, Juju. Thank you.
But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all. Listen, value your time, understand the cost of opportunities, right? You know, understand the difference between gross and net and whatever you make or whatever you're gonna go and make. Get your mentality right and figure out who's around you. Move the people who you don't want to be like. If you got friends and you don't really want to be like your friend, that shouldn't be a friend.
That's very true.
But if you don't want to be like your friend for the right reasons, not because her ass fat, I want a booty like her too. No. She's doing something in life. Not like she looks like she's doing something. Just because she's driving a G-Wagon don't mean she got G-Wagon money. So my point is this, just because she looks successful doesn't mean she's successful. If you have somebody in your life you want to be like, or that you know, that should be the friend. Not the person at the same level as you, because y'all always going to be right here.
Correct. And that's the biggest issue with a lot of people. They don't have mentors. And people, this is why you got to invest into yourself. I have course books that we'll be releasing in about 14 days that we've been working on. And these will give you a level of guidance in your life, how to manage your money. I got money management course books, stocks, course books. And now I've been in the process of working on my selling course book, where it's actually video, teaching you how to sell, how to speak, how to close deals. Because a lot of you struggling right now because you're always being sold.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to sell.
Correct.
TV sells you all day. But a lot of you have businesses, even if you don't have a business, you're always being sold. Even down to an interview, a job interview, you don't know how to sell yourself. Some of y'all just taking anything that people do. Yeah, 40. Okay. Yes, we are. Look, I got 40,000. You're gonna love it here. Oh, I mean, that's cool. Okay. No. That ain't boss. 40 ain't gonna work. I hope I ain't go through these 3 interviews for no goddamn 40. 40 is definitely not gonna work, John.
There's a way to say it.
For sure, John. Listen,
I respect
appreciate the offer.
Let me have a question. What's the budget for the position? What's the budget range for the position? What did you have budgeted for this position?
Correct.
Oh, well, we had the budget range from 40 to 65. Okay, I'd look to get 65, and maybe we can have a conversation. You don't need that. There's plenty of people out here paying money.
Because these companies, they know, and you can imagine, because people, when you're vulnerable, life rough, some people take anything.
They don't take whatever, man.
Right.
They got time to think. They gotta pay that.
They gotta give me 42,000. You'll start me tomorrow. Cool. I'm gonna just take that.
Yeah.
But
they got the landlord on their ass so much to where they take anything.
It's crazy. People, it's your boy Bob from Mentourme.com.
It's your boy Matthew Advisor. We appreciate y'all, man. Please reach out if you have any questions, any concerns.
Peace. Y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all follow me on, of course, Spotify, The Painful Truth Mentor Me. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Appreciate all of you that support the movement. Get on TikTok. Follow me at Mentourme954. Like, share all my videos. Appreciate the love, people. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. I'm going. Yeah.